Hey everyone, how are you tonight? It is Karen Miner Hurd and wanted to find out what's going on when you can't focus and you're staring at your screen with a pile of laundry or the kids' stuff, right, that you've got to deal with, or maybe that pile of paperwork and you just can't get to it and you're feeling distracted and overwhelmed and kind of tired. And what do? You grab something. And I'm going to wager a guess it's not a carrot and a protein shake. Hi, my name is Karen Miner Hurd, and thank you for joining me. We're going to do a little bit on the impact that sugar has on your brain, what your brain's doing to set the cravings up, and what you can do to stop it, get control, and protect your brain. I'm going to share exactly how sugar is working against your brain and what you can do to pretty quickly increase memory, focus, concentration, and protect your brain from shrinkage. Yes, brain shrinkage. As we age, and depending on what's going on in our diet, we're much more prone to brain shrinkage. And brain shrinkage means less cognitive function as we age. So let's get right to it, okay? Thanks for watching, and thanks for being with me. All right, so let's talk about your brain. It needs glucose. Your brain is a very hungry organ, demanding out of your body 50% of the glucose in your bloodstream. Here's the thing. Your brain wants to be fed first. It's the most demanding organ you've got in your body, and for good reason. What happens when your brain stops? Everything else stops. So, and that's why your metabolism and your brain are really closely connected. That's another talk for another day. But your brain is hungry. And when you don't have enough glucose in your bloodstream, your body is a problem solver. It's going to find a way to get that glucose, and it's not going to send you to the fridge for a green pepper. It's going to grab what's fast because it doesn't have time. And again, your brain, think of it like a demanding child. I need, I want. That's what your brain is doing. So when you're grabbing, when you're kind of feeling tired, you got to get something going, right? That's why actually grabbing a donut, something carby in the morning is actually not a good way to get started on your brain. But why do you want it? Because your brain is like, you haven't eaten. I need this. I need to get jump started. Give me that donut. Give me that bagel. Right? Does that make sense? Drop me one if this is starting to make sense. So what happens is your blood sugar goes up. And I got this, by the way, a lot of this from Bennett and Health, which is an organization in the UK, and also Harvard Medical School, and then just some other readings that I've done along the way in dealing with my own brain health issues. So when you've got your brain needing glucose, what's it going to do? It's going to start demanding it. What are you going to do? You're not thinking, and you grab the package of crackers, the package of cookies, the cake, the whatever is there fast to fix that brain. And guess what? It works. It does. Your brain was exactly right. It's exactly what it needed. More glucose. It got it quickly. And what goes up must come down in about 20 to 30 minutes or so. That's now going down. And so are your dopamine levels. So what does your brain do? It needs another hit. Literally, it needs another hit. And you grab another sweet. You maybe got some M&Ms there, pop into your body, right? So your brain doesn't necessarily care how it gets the glucose. It doesn't care about the quality of the glucose. And yes, there's some folks out there who think it's ketones, and I understand, but primarily it's glucose, essential fatty acids, all these other things are important, right? But we're focusing on sugar right now because that's the trouble. Okay, so what are the best sources of glucose for your body? Well, it's what you would figure: fruits, vegetables, organic whole grains, right? Legumes, protein. And your body can use that, and it'll actually be a much more steady stream over time to your brain, a much more steady flow of glucose for your brain. Now, just in case you need a little bit extra encouragement, because those foods aren't necessarily easy to make, are they? There's not a package of whole grain that just pop. Whole grain crackers. And that's not what we're talking about. Okay. So what you need to do when we're eating sugar, you have to understand what's happening in your body, what sugar does in your brain. It creates cognitive Cognitive is how my brain functions, whether or not I can solve an easy math problem, know where my car keys are, that kind of thing, right? Cognitive function, memory deficits, problem with attention, and inflammation. And that's sugar has that kind of an impact, not a little bit, not a small amount, but we tend to eat too much, especially in the Western diet, is very heavy carb focused. And this is what the issue is. It's not that sugar is the ultimate evil in small amounts, small, but it's just that we don't need them in small amounts. And around the 1900s, the average American ate about 15 pounds of sugar, and then about by the late 20th century, rather, Americans were eating 150 pounds a year. Huge gap. And so the glucose drops. It also blocks your memory receptors. So sugar is blocking your brain from getting memory, right? Especially if you're low in omega-3s, which are fatty acids. And guess what most people are low in? Yep, omega-3s. Sugar can also block B vitamins, but you need B vitamins for your central nervous system. And when you're under stress, your body's demand on B vitamins is high. And so what do you do when you're stressed out? You grab sugar. You're seeing what's going on. You're seeing why you get into these cycles, and they're kind of hard to break. Yep. You've also got now, and then it also blocks chromium. And guess what B vitamins and chromium do? Yep, they help regulate mood. And that's why we get hangry and cranky. Sometimes it gets worse. We tend to lose self-control because our bodies literally we're fighting against our body. And then we get compromised emotional processing, stress, anxiety, that kind of thing. And let's talk about dopamine levels. Sugar does make them rise. There's other ways to get dopamine increases because you need them, especially those of us who are ADHD. Yep, we need a lot more dopamine than perhaps a neurotypical brain does, but neurodiverse brains do. And sugar makes them rise. It does. It just falls real fast. So you're on this literally a roller coaster. All right. So Harvard Medical School, in one of their articles, talked about the studies done on type 1 and type 2 diabetics. There's other forms of diabetes, right? There's type 1, type 1.5, 2, and type 3, which is Alzheimer's. There's a medical science is kind of coming around to the idea that Alzheimer's is actually a form of diabetes. But they're looking at high glucose in the brain of diabetes patients, and they see that it leads to brain shrinkage and shrinking blood vessels. Guess what happens when your brain shrinks? That's right. You lose cognitive function. Again, drop me a 1 if this is making sense to you. So we've got these couple different elements. All right. You've got your brain needing glucose in order to function, and it doesn't necessarily care where it gets it. This is where you are in control of your brain. This is where you're going to tell the brain what it's going to get and how. Okay. By changing your diet, lowering your sugar, right? But before you start swapping, a regular soda for a diet soda, the artificial sweeteners are not healthy. They're really hard for your liver, right? They're pretty toxic to your body. They implicated in some damage to your central nervous system. And what's your brain a part of? Your central nervous system. Now, there are healthier forms of sugar, and they're considered healthier. When I say sugar, I'm referring to cane sugar. High fructose corn syrup is not a part of this conversation because it's crazy town. We shouldn't be eating it. It's cheap. That's why it's in so many foods. All right. So no high fructose corn syrup. You'll see that sometimes abbreviated HFCS. You really want to eliminate that right away. So let's just talk about cane sugar. Are there healthy alternatives to it? Sure. Coconut sugar, maple syrup, honey, raw honey. But all of those, I mean, things like monk fruit, stevia, those kinds of things, agave. But guess what? They're all meant for moderation. So it's about bringing the sweet tooth down altogether. And you can bring that sweet tooth down. All right. Because it's really, really important that I'm trying to look at my notes here so I can stay on track with you guys. It's really important that we do that. So what are a couple of things you can do right away? Drop me a 2. If you want some good news, you're looking for a way to quickly increase memory, focus, stabilize your moods, right? and concentration and protect your brain for a long haul, drop me a 2. Ready? All right, here goes. There's 3 things that are pretty simple. 1, cut back on sugar. Remember, high fructose corn syrup shouldn't even be a part of this conversation because it shouldn't be in our diets at all. So cut back on added sugar, though, at this point, with any source, to 20 grams a day or less. I know the American Heart Association says 25 grams and 38 grams a day for men and 25 grams for women. But 20 grams really is good. You can still have a little bit, right? But of added sugar, all right? We're not worried about baby carrots and apples and bananas. We're worried about added sugar at this point. Increase, though, your fruits and vegetables whole, if you can, water, and exercise, and increase your protein. So just start making, even if it's 1 serving a day, start doing it. That'll also offset the cravings for sweet stuff. And where do cravings come from? Because your body's screaming for glucose. It's screaming for something to run that brain of yours, right? So when you start giving it nutrition in a steady state, those cravings start to drop. They really do. And pretty quickly, sometimes you can see a difference in just a couple of days. So the other thing, now the third thing I'm going to talk about is not only going to increase your results a lot, it's also going to add protections that you really can't get any other way. And that's through supplementation. Now, there's way a lot of people tend to supplement is they'll read an article and they'll go get this product and they'll go get that product, and they're kind of putting something together. But it's really important to give your brain, like I just said a minute ago, a steady stream of nutrients that are foundation. Everybody needs vitamin C. There's not a human being on the planet that doesn't need to get vitamin C, either through their diet, and because the demands are so high, you're going to need it in a supplement. The question is not, do I need vitamin C? And they don't. The question is, how much? How much vitamin C? Because that is going to vary individual to individual. So when I work with people on a supplement program, we really work on personalized nutrition, okay? Because we all go looking for that one thing that's going to be the game changer. We're looking for something simple because it can get complicated. And so here's what I'm doing. I've put together a guide to simplify things for you. It's the Neurospicy Girl's Guide to Memory and Focus. So whether you're neurospicy like me, dealing with PMS or perimenopause or menopause, or you just kind of get tired and fatigued and you need that brain to function, and you want healthy brain function. If you take care of your brain, everything else is going to fall into place. I promise. All right. So this is good where you just drop the word guide. Drop the word guide in the comment below. I'll reach out to you and I'll get you a copy of this guide. It's totally free because you're going to see the strategies that I use. I battle, and I have battled all my life, ADHD, and I do not take any medication for it. And I have good memory, good focus. Yeah, some days are better than others. I'll be frank about that. I also have tricks for that too. But you'll get the strategies for that, the nootropics and the supplements that I use. But when I'm working with you, this is what you like to work with me, we'll put together a foundation that you can follow every single day to give your body and your brain that steady stream of nutrients. If you need to target beyond that, we'll do that. But first step is to request the Neurospicy Girl Guide to Memory and Focus by dropping the word guide in the comment below. Okay, because protecting your brain is really important. None of us wants to be battling dementia if we can avoid it. And I really believe that there's a lot of things that we can do, not only to enjoy better brain function and focus and mood stability right now, but also in the long run to protect our brains from some of the damage that modern life can throw at it. Take care of your brain. It's going to take care of you. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your takeaways from this. Remember to drop the word guide in the comments below, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot, everybody. Talk soon. Bye-bye.